And the grass is looking pretty good. So let's go take a look. Okay, my wife just gave me our 5th water bill. It's monthly here at this house. And it was just, so we have 2 meters. We have an irrigation meter and we have a house meter. And so the irrigation meter used 476 gallons and the house meter used 18 gallons. I don't see how we're using as few as 18 gallons in the house, but hey, whatever. The 476 irrigation meter is a big question mark. So I've got an irrigation system, obviously, and you know that irrigation bill for the 476 gallons is $543. And you know, when we moved in, the grass was crunchy and gross and dead and terrible. So I'm like, yeah, let's just leave the irrigation the way that it is and see if we can restore the grass. And the grass is looking pretty good. So let's go take a look at the grass. So here we are at the sensor, and you know what I found was this was programmed for 3 days a week. It was programmed twice each of those days to start. It started at 4 a.m. and it's to start at 7:30 p.m. And it ran every zone. I got 7 zones on 25 minutes. So after doing some research in Florida, now that my grass is, you know, it's green, it's there. So I feel like it's healthy enough to water according to a recommended water cycle. And it turns out I was watering way too much. The grass is healthy, so let's get the watering right. I've since changed it to 2 days per week, Monday and Friday. I've got it running once each of those days, so that's a 4 a.m. start. Now all of those zones were set at 25 minutes. Well, I found that 2 of my zones have rotating sprinkler heads, and I found that those zones require more watering. So what I've done is zones 1 through 5 are now 30 minutes, and zones 6 and 7, the zones with the rotating, are now 60 minutes. I also found this little switch right here. It says on and bypass, was on bypass, and that's for my rain sensor. You'll see here that the rain sensor has a little indicator that says, hey, I'm active, I have met my rain threshold. And what that does is it turns this little umbrella on, and I get that all fixed up too. So the rain sensor wasn't working. I guess the builder said just bypass it, whatever, we don't have to deal with it. And I'm getting around to fixing it now that I got, you know, $540 irrigation bills every month. So the long story short on that is this was all coiled up and it wasn't receiving the signal over there. I replaced the batteries thinking that it was going to receive the signal. It didn't. And that thing over there was set to 1/8 of an inch. And here we are in Central Florida. The internet recommends to set it to 1/4 of an inch water, rain, and then it turns the system off. So I just dumped a bunch of water in that sensor over there to make sure that it's working, and it is. So that being said, it was at about 1,050 minutes of water time before, and now I'm at, I think, 540 or 550. You can do the math for me. It's 5 zones at, well, it's about half, just a little over half of what the water time was. So just on water time alone, my irrigation bill should be half. And then if it rains, I'm actually going to be turning that system off. So if I have 1 rain day a week, which, you know, maybe it will be, maybe it won't be, then that cuts my water bill down from 1,050 minutes of spraying to 1/4 of that, because it's half the spray time, and then it would be half the what's left of that, because it would sprinkle 1 day a week. So we'll see. At a minimum, I expect it to be half. So my goal this coming water bill is going to be a $270 water bill, and if it's any less than that, then we know that the rain sensor picked up some rain and it didn't water. Let's take a look at the rest of the grass. All right, so what do you guys think? Am I ruining my grass? Is it going to be just fine? Is it going to be better? Let me know. I hope it is better, and at a minimum, I hope it stays the same. Comment what you think.